Hey guys, welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into the reel of reality TV. And listen, it does not get any realer than this. And I am not shocked by any of it because I saw this coming from a mile away. I just knew more and more things were going to be revealed when it came to Simon and Portia, since she decided to file for divorce. And now here we go. Now, I just recently thought about it, and I actually did say that I don't think that Portia's name is on the deed for the mansion, because when all of the stuff came out about her being locked out, he changed the locks, changed the garage door codes. She's coming to the place with goons and weapons to retrieve her belongings. It's sounding similar to, not completely alike, but similar. So not identical, but it's sounding very eerily similar to her marriage to Cordell, who we know was the one that filed for divorce in that situation. But he moved her out, packed up a U-Haul, and sent her on her merry way over to her mama's house. And here we go again. Now, Simon reportedly has sent a cease and desist over to the producers at RHOA, letting them know, y'all N-words ain't welcome at this mansion, okay? Okay. So, according to page 6, he sent a cease and desist letter to True Entertainment, the production company behind the Bravo reality series, on Thursday to demand it stops filming at his house amid his divorce from returning cast member Porsha Williams. Per the document, Simon says he is the legal owner of the Georgia mansion they shared and no longer permits any filming to take place at the residence. If you can recall, when he had those locks changed and those garage door codes switched up, I mentioned that her name must not be on the mansion. Because, yeah, you know, someone could be messy and change the locks and whatever. You're not supposed to do that, because if you legally are a owner of the property, someone else getting mad with you can't legally do that. So I don't know what the rules are for divorce in the state of Georgia. I know that every state is different, but in some states you have to have like a legal separation, has to be for a period of time before actual divorce can be done. So it doesn't sound like it's that way in Georgia, because right up until she filed for divorce, they were together. So with that being said, for him to have gone the route of having the locks changed on the place, it was sounding like it was to me that her name was not on that property and she was just being allowed to live there. Even though they were married, it's not their marital property, if you will. So the fact that this woman did not learn from her previous experience, even though we know that she did purchase a property, we saw that when she was on the show, she clearly didn't have all of her ducks in a row and everything in order. And I don't know, maybe she just forgot about his previous wife and how he did her. And she just didn't think that he would ever do anything like this to her. But yeah, it's looking like it. So according to page 6, Simon attached a copy of the deed as evidence that Portia does not have a stake in the nearly $7 million home that he purchased in November 2021. So failure to comply with the request will result in Mr. Guobadia taking legal action accordingly. So, they're going to be packing up their cameras and getting the heck up out of Dodge, because they don't want that type of problem in their lives. And I'm quite sure there are a number of people over there at Bravo, Truly Original, NBC Universal pissed that they made this investment into bringing her back, because I really don't believe that she's going to bring what they're hoping she was going to bring back to that franchise. I just don't. And listen, this is her own doing. She did this to herself. How dare she think that she could get into a relationship and a marriage, flaunt it all over social media. I don't care what his ex-wife said or did. That had nothing to do with her. For her to think that it was going to be okay getting into a relationship with this man that was as messy as he was with the previous wife, not even the first wife, because I don't know who the first wife was. According to reports, he's had several wives, okay? And not all at the same time. So I'm not surprised at all. He has evicted Porsha from the mansion, similar to what Cordell did. Like I said, not identical, but definitely similar. This is crazy. So for these people that just want to be all on this Porsha love train, and they just feel so enamored by, her presence, and she's this and she's that and she's the other. To me, it's just a lot of superficial people. And that's just it. That's all. I really have no other words for this situation but what was already said. And you can let me know what you think about it. And speaking of housewives, Mia, she was on Watch What Happens Live after the season finale of The Real Housewives of Potomac on Sunday. And I didn't get a chance to talk about this, but she was sharing her thoughts about Gordon as she was asked. And this is definitely entertaining for those of us who are watching, but this is just a big old mess. And she had some words for Gordon. Let's just go ahead and get into what she had to say.
What did you expect that conversation to look like? Because,
I mean, I expected Gordon to do exactly what Gordon did. He needs a wig and a skirt. He's the next housewife.
Oh, boy.
For sure.
In tonight's episode, Gordon accused Inc. of trying to break up your marriage. What was he referring to? Does he have a point?
No, there's no point whatsoever, because even if Inc. wasn't in the picture, Gordon and I were definitely still on the road of separation.
You are adamant that you didn't marry him for money. So why did you want to make a life with him if you were having an affair while engaged?
No, I didn't have the affair till after.
Okay.
It was after.
Okay.
And, there are some things that happened that I realized that I just didn't know if I knew who I had married.
I want to pause right there for a minute. We all know why Mia got with Gordon. And ironically, her new man, which was her previous man, she says, goes by the title or nickname, whatever it is, Inc., I-N-C. It's ironic to me. He actually looks like he could be Gordon's son. It's like Mia went from the daddy to the son. I don't know if you all used to watch Living Single, and if you remember that episode where Regine was dating, the character was played by Mario Van Peebles. He was like a forecaster, a weatherman. And then she met this older guy, and then she started dating him. And then it turns out they were both father and son. Yeah, this is giving me similar to that. Now, I know that Inc. is not Gordon's son, but seeing him sitting there in the audience with those sunglasses on and hair, I was trying to put hair on Gordon's head with some gray hairs to say, you know what, this could actually be his son. It's a bit weird. But with the things that Mia has said about Gordon, saying that, he could be the next housewife, he needs a wig and a skirt at this point. I believe that Gordon is hurt, even though he knew who he married. So I don't feel sorry for him. I'm not sitting here saying that he's a victim in any way, but he knew who he married. He definitely knew who he got with. And he was trying to, make suggestions earlier in the season when they were having conversations where he was just basically trying to be like, well, yeah, we could just stay married and I could, get my rocks off with you from time to time and you do your thing. Like, he really was suggesting that. And I just think that Mia, you know, she's done with him. I really do.
Who I had married.
You know, despite how volatile that conversation was, Gordon seemed to be willing to try to reconcile for the sake of the kids. Why did you not want to, and how is co-parenting going?
So co-parenting is going great, Andy.
Good.
Yeah, it's going great. Good. Yeah, Gordon actually is at the penthouse right now with our kids. He has been there for a whole week.
Good.
Seems like he's a good dad.
He's a great father.
Yeah.
He is. And Gordon is a great guy, right?
Right.
It's just that there are some things that he's battling, and sometimes it's just not so, you know, exciting to be in the same environment with someone who's going through certain things.
So in terms of our friend Ink, who's here in the Oprah chairs, when did you two first meet?
We were 16 in high school.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you dated, it didn't work out, and then you came back together later.
Yeah, it didn't work out because of our careers.
Was he always in the back of your mind, though,
Always.
through these years?
Yeah.
Always? Wow.
Well, Mia clearly has a type because, like I said, Ink, he reminds me of Gordon's son. Like, he could be Gordon's son, my personal opinion. But I'm not even going to play any more of that because it's really irrelevant. Gordon clearly knew who he got with. I believe they said that Gordon is going through some health struggles. Mia's just a selfish person. If you heard her say, you know, it's hard to be around someone when they're going through what they're going through. Like, girl, you married him and it was supposed to be for better or for worse. But this is actually leading me to a quick little discussion I want to have where it involves these women. More so, you know, it's a lot of women that get married to these older men. But, you know, when we see these situations on these Real Housewives shows, and just giving examples, Nene, who has her husband, Greg, unfortunately, he passed away, but she was with a much older man. We know Karen is with a much older man. When this news came out about Karen and the DUI, I asked, and some other people were questioning, like, where was Ray? And a lot of people feel like Ray is a man of a certain age. He's probably allowing Karen to live her life and do her thing. But yeah, they're still married. They've renewed their vows and all of that good stuff. But as you see, Karen, she's actually looking younger than she did when she first came on the show. And I believe she wants to live a life where she is living like she is feeling and looking right now. And Ray is an older man that probably just wants to stay home and sleep, and he's tired and he's, you know, he's good. And then you have Mia, who was married to Gordon, who is much older, even though she claimed that he was always going to the strip club and all this other stuff like that, which is, but anyway, what do you think about these women, like these housewives that we've just mentioned, that we've seen? Candace, who's with her forever husband, will forever be going through a divorce, because I don't think they're ever going to finalize that. I believe that was a storyline for her. And also, he doesn't want the attention being drawn to what he does and what he likes to do, so he doesn't want to be filmed anymore. So I believe that was an easy way out for him and her, and I really hope they don't bring her back. But again, someone who was married to a much older man. And one who was pretty disgusting as well. Ashley's not married to a much older man that's just like Ray, who is probably just wanting to sit at home in the rocking chair, and he's retired and doesn't really want to do anything else. You know, this is one of those ones that is out here allegedly paying escorts and stuff like that and doing whatever else that I don't even want to discuss. But when you see these women and they're coming on these shows and they're married to these much older men, then it's like they want to kind of break away from that. You know, we saw that with Nene. And even though we know they got remarried, I felt like that one was for a storyline and for her also to get a prenuptial agreement that she did not have before, because now she was in the position of being the main breadwinner of the relationship. And then when Greg started going through the cancer battle and all of these other things, if you all recall, if you were watching it back then, she was complaining about Greg. She was saying he doesn't really want to do anything. You know, I'm like, let's just go to, to a club or to a lounge or whatever. And it's like Marlo, and even Marlo of all people, but Marlo and Cynthia were trying to check her. They were like, girl, your husband is sick. He's going through cancer treatments and you're talking about you want to go to a club and have fun. He doesn't want to do that. But I don't think it for Nene, she was even registering in her mind not just the fact that he was someone going through cancer treatments, but also that he was a man of a certain age that really wasn't trying to do that, But when they get in these positions where they're becoming these quote unquote real housewives, and then they just want to, have fun, be seen, be noticed, be acknowledged, do all of these different things for the gram and whatnot, and the person that they're married to is not really into all of that, then they kind of break away. I feel that Karen loves her husband and her husband loves her. But I also feel that Karen is looking and searching for something else, and she's not really getting it with Ray, and not blaming that on the DUI. But I felt like that excuse about Mother's Day quickly approaching and thinking about her mom and being out to dinner with a friend and having hard conversations, I don't believe that's what drove her to have a DUI, because how dreadful is it to be at the age of 60 getting a DUI? And I don't even want to say the first, because I'm hoping that there will never be another one. But just saying, it's a lot to think about and a lot to unpack. And I just really wanted to shed light on it and just briefly discuss it. So I would love to know what you all think about this in the comment section. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on Simon and Portia and him saying, don't show up on my property. Don't show up, because I got something for you if you do. And what do you think about Mia and what she had to say about Gordon, as well as these younger women, older men, marriage situations that we're seeing a lot of on the Real Housewives franchises? So let me know your thoughts in the comment section, guys. Thanks so much for being here, liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and I'm going to say bye.